What's up, guys? Lewin here at GarageBand and beyond. Welcome back. Today, I wanted to give you guys some tips on how to customize your own amplifier. Today, I'm going to be using a Fender, but any amplifier that you have really should, you could probably do a few of these modifications too. But I want to give you ideas on what things to modify and ways to do it in an inexpensive manner that give you an end result of unique looking, cool sounding, and conversation worthy. You know what I mean? Like every time I take this amp out, some guitar player will come up to me and be like, hey, what's the deal with your amp? In reality, I haven't done like all this crazy stuff to it, but it's just an eye-catching piece of gear if you're a normal gearhead like I am. So anyway, this is an early 2000s Fender Deluxe Reverb. It's like 2002, I think. All stock out of the factory. The only thing the previous owner ever did to it was change the tube sockets to something a little more high quality, and he was claiming that the old ones are sort of like not reliable and low quality, so he changed the old tube sockets to higher dollar ones. That's not going to change a tone, but I just figured I'd toss it out there in case people are interested in that. So that was what he did to it. Now, when I got it, it looked just like any other deluxe reverb. It was totally stock looking. So what I have done to it, I've changed the speaker, I've changed the grill cloth, I've changed the jewel light, and I have changed a few of the tubes, okay? And we'll talk about which tubes I changed and why I only did a few of those tubes. First thing we're going to talk about, though, is the grill cloth. This is called Oxblood grill cloth. This is a Fender color. You can find it online on lots of different places or your local guitar shop, which I always recommend. Go there and order it from those guys. But it's really inexpensive to buy. You can get it, it's a few dollars per square foot. It's really, really affordable stuff. And it's a pretty easy thing to put it on as well. You got to take the whole amp apart, but I mean, it's not hard. It's like 4 screws and the head comes out, head slides out, you got to unplug it. Then take the speaker off the baffle, which is the piece of wood that is holding the speaker. Remove the speaker, then you unscrew the baffle, and then you have access to the grill cloth, and then you can see how they cut it, that you can see how they put it on with staples and stuff. So what I like to do is take the old grill cloth off, lay it down on the new piece, trace it out because there's some special cuts in the corners and stuff. Trace it out roughly. It's pretty simple to do. Cut it out. I like to use staples and hot glue. I don't have a rack to stretch it properly, so I found that hot glue helps me get rid of ripples and stuff. This particular time, I put a little too much hot glue up here, and it just sort of, some of it oozed out. I just need to go around and clean it up. No big deal. But anyway, grill cloth, super cheap, super easy to do, and one of those things that gives you a big overall appearance change, obviously. And the other thing I did, I took off the logo because, I got a Fender guitar, it says Fender here. Usually it says Fender. It looks like a Fender. I totally don't think I need to be doing much more advertising for Fender than I already am with the guitar, at least, So anyway, I like to take the logos off too, just because I just think it looks nice. Plain and simple. But now let's flip it around, look at the speaker, and talk about the tubes. So check this out. Pretty cool, huh? I'm an idiot, I know. So anyway, okay, so the speaker back here, this is a Weber Classic Alnico 12-inch speaker. I decided to use this particular one. It's not the one most guys put into their deluxe reverbs. I chose it for primarily because I had one sitting in a closet. Now, that was definitely a big component in why I used it. However, I did the research. I read around. Some people had used these. I had heard one of them. And the reason I like this speaker, it's more of a vintage emulation than some of the other Webers, or like at least how old it's trying to emulate, right? So it's like late 50s, early 60s Fender stuff. So right in that cusp of time where it was going from like the tweed stuff to the brown face stuff, these were the type of speakers that they were using. So they break up a little bit earlier. If you like amps that break up, this speaker doesn't have a ton of headroom. So somewhere around like 5 on the amplifier, getting closer to 4 to 5, you'll totally hear that speaker breaking up in a very nice, vintagey, growly way, which I really like. And I wish I could demo for you in the house, but there's people so I can't get too loud today. But anyway, so it's a Weber Classic Alnico, really cool. I'll definitely put a link for that below. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention is those tubes that I had talked about, right? So if you have your own amp, your own Fender amp at least, and most tube amps will tell you somewhere on the inside wall, they should have, stuck a sticker in there that tells you what tubes are where and, when you need to replace them. It's the tube guide, right? So what I decided to do, and this is something I've been doing for years, is to only do the vibrato channel, right? So this thing has 4 inputs, 2 channels. It has a totally dry and clean channel on this end, and then the big middle section is its vibrato / reverb channel. And those are the tubes that I decided to change. Now I use new old stock tubes. If you're shopping for those, that's NOS tubes on eBay. Those are old tubes that people have found and are now selling, right? So they're the old ones. They're not the new reproductions, anything like that. Those are the actual old ones. So I like new old stock tubes. I also like to buy the inexpensive ones. So I like realistic stuff a lot because they're inexpensive and not a lot of people like them. I also like GE tubes. If you can find inexpensive GE tubes, I think the power tubes that are in this, I think they ran me like $50 or something like that, which is way cheaper than a set of brand new tubes. And these are brand new, but they're just old. And then I went around and just changed the preamp tubes and the reverb tube and the vibrato tube. No, I didn't change the vibrato tube, but I did change the reverb tube in the vibrato channel. And the reason I decided only to do this is because I never use this channel. So why would I spend an extra, call it $40 to $50 retubing this channel that I never use? Save yourself the money. Don't do it. Just do the channel that you use. So that's pretty much it. It's a really fun, simple amp. Here, let's flip it back around. Huh? All right. So yeah, it's it's a great amp, and let's just listen to it more. Turn on the vibrato. Right? I love it. And even just nice and dry, Right? It's cool. And I love that speaker. It has that sort of old school paper speaker sound. They're really particular. But I do recommend them. I really like this speaker. It's really warm. I'll say that's the other thing is too, compared to a lot of the other speakers that people use, this one is a lot beefier. It's let's see if I can get a nice. Right, that's with all the bass rolled out. Here, let's just roll it all. Well, oh, that's the volume. Treble all the way out. So that's with the bass all the way up, and let's roll a little more treble back in. Sorry, my bench is rattling a little bit. I don't know if you can hear a rattle, but it's the bench. It's not my amp. Rattling. I think it's one of those tube covers. I was messing with it. Anyway, you guys, love this amplifier, and I just wanted to give you guys a couple of, inexpensive ideas on how to customize your own amp to make it a unique looking thing that hopefully reflects your personality and just sort of gives your amp a little more style than the rest of the people out there, because it's a fun thing to do on your off time. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and please, find me on Facebook and Twitter and all that kind of stuff. And of course, I got a website, and please, I've made all these other videos, so please check out my other videos because I've made tons of them. And subscribe to the channel. I think I already said that. Patreon page. I got a Patreon page. If you want to check that out, that'd be cool. Otherwise, you guys, I think that's about it, and I hope you have a great day.